let's put it right there. I don't have the best lighting for this spot right here, but you can see how dark that bottle is. That bottle is friggin' dark. Really, really dark. So, now we've got the new Riff Maltster. I'm surprised. So this is a trademark of theirs. I'm surprised Maltster has not been taken. I mean, that is a trademark I would have thought had been taken. So what they are doing here is that they are making bourbon with various malts. So they just swap out regular rye with malted rye. And malting is basically a process that you apply to these grains, like to basically fake germination, and you get flavor out of it. And it also helps with the there will also be it helps with the fermentation, with the enzymes. Now, Kurt asked a question: will there be a chill filtered tent at Repeal Day Expo for us? Actually, yes. The double platinum ticket holders will have their own like private lounge that they'll be able to kind of go and hang out, and that'll also be kind of where you'll get to do a private tasting with me or one of the distillers. And so anybody who's on that kind of double platinum level will be getting a lot of information about that sort of thing. So again, go to repealdayexpo.com. I keep getting, switching it around there. Kind of silly. Let's see what other kind of questions you can have in here. Jeff Perkins says, apparently only you and Axe and Billions can get that bottle. I mean, I think that's a compliment. I gotta tell you, it is a definitely a surprise for when I get a full bottle. Now I'm certainly accustomed to getting the sample bottles, but I mean, Michter's is flexing when they're sending me a full bottle. But they know, and you all know, that just because you send me a full bottle, just because you're supporting the show I'm putting on, they know that that's not going to get them like a positive review. Like if I don't like it, I'm gonna say it, and that's that's one of the things about being a reviewer in this space is sometimes there is sometimes there's this feeling that just because someone gives you a bottle, you have to say something nice about it. That's not how it works, or at least that's not how it should work. Reviewers should always be honest with their opinions. Billy Atwood asked, is this a virtual event? Why, yes, it is a virtual event. It is a virtual event in its own special world, and then the panels will be viewed just like you would see in a Zoom on a Zoom call, except instead of being on a Zoom call, you're going to be in an actual virtual like auditorium and take a seat and look up at a screen and watch it like it was a Zoom call. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get to the tasting. Let's see. We had so looks like Dustin has a question. What if you're in a state that stopped liquor shipments? There are 6 states that I'd have to pull up my email. There are 6 states that Craft Shack cannot ship to. And one of the, I know, so Michigan is one. Alabama is one. And I think Pennsylvania. But yeah, I think there's 6 states. But like we can, just hit me up and we can work something out. Like if you get a ticket and like you've got you're in one of those states. I think Ohio's okay. They did not list out Ohio, I don't believe. But like it's this Craft Shack is doing all that, so they handle all that sort of thing. We basically just set up an order and send it to them. And if you purchase one of those Uber VIP ones, and everybody's going to get a bottle anyway, so anybody who gets a ticket, even the gold ticket holder, is going to get a bottle of Jack Daniels. So there is definitely a lot of states that we can hit. We can ship to Texas. I did get that confirmed that Craft Shack can ship to Texas. And they can ship to Illinois, too. So Craft Shack can also ship to Illinois. So you go to repealdayexpo.com to get those tickets. So we are going to go to start with the new Riff Maltster Bottle and Bond, made with malted wheat. Now, I will tell you that they sent me a pretty nice little interpretation of like how this is made in an email, and it really is. I don't often read from a press release, but the press release here is written by a friend of mine, Tracy Green, and she did a really good job here. She says, New Riff's distilling team delved into their backgrounds as craft brewers and created a malted rye bourbon and a malted wheat bourbon. These unique mash bills offer bold interpretations of traditional bourbon styles, from a refined and sophisticated rye experience to a darker and deeper version of wheated bourbon. These whiskeys are made possible by New Riff's ability to mash any single bag of grain into their recipes. They utilize an auxiliary grain conveyor, most often to add malted rye to their standard rye recipe. I don't know why. I get excited. I get really, really excited about a good paragraph of whiskey. So I want to read Tracy's paragraph there to you. But basically, what they're saying is they have the facilities to really tinker with their grains. And what we have seen with New Riff is they're going back and forth with the Brett Marquardt said he's double platinum. He can't wait. Got his ticket. All right. Hey, if you're double platinum, or if you're platinum, if you're a gold ticket holder for this event, repealdayexpo.com, put it out there and tell people, I can't wait. I mean, I can't wait, and it's going to be a great time, but I really appreciate it. And so what are the things that's saying about New Riff? New Riff it has this ability to like do a lot of different things with grains, and we're seeing them, tinker around with peat and now these malted series, So I have an anticipation that we will start to get a lot more from New Riff with the different types of grain, playing that they do. Now, it also should be noted that New Riff did the contract distillation for Rabbit Hole, which also did things with like honey malted rye. They had some like chocolate malts, and they did some various things as well. So New Riff is a distillery that we can see that is really, really honing in those grain skills, which the majority of American whiskey distillers buy bags of buy bags off of straight off of like the grain silo and mash it and distill it. So the New Riff is playing a different game. They're like, oh, what can we do here? What can we do here? So that's very exciting to me as someone with a background in agriculture and just the desire to see more grains be used in a positive way. So let's get to it. Bruin asked the question, are you thinking the New Riff will be similar to Rua? Well, so see, Rua is a single malt, okay? So that's all barley. And these here still are bourbons, but like the wheat is malted versus being unmalted. So here we go. Ooh. Smells peppery. Peppery and kind of a little bit like some bread out of the oven. By the way, as I'm nosing this, I just want to say I've really missed you guys, and I feel bad I've been neglecting you. I know I had a really good, strong consecutive run of these live streams every Wednesday at like 6:30, but man, it is hard. It is hard to juggle all that work, all this good stuff, and then then get yourself up for a live stream. I got to tell you, But tonight, I was like, you know what? I'm doing a live stream. I don't care. I'm gonna do it. And we're going on vacation here pretty soon, which I don't know. I don't know if there's always that concern that I might get canceled because of COVID or something, but I'm looking forward to it. And at the same time I don't know if I can take a vacation because I'm always thinking about work. I'm always thinking about what I can do that's cool and fun. And I know I owe you, like Cliff Ewart's bringing up, really looking forward to the Rise of the Century so far content. Yes, I'm working on that. I promise you, I'm totally going to get that. Okay, so back to this nose. Again, it's peppery, fresh baked bread out of the oven. A little honey, and it's got some floral notes in there too. Oh wow! Holy crap, that's good. Holy shit! Wow. So the Malster version, the bourbon that is made with the malted wheat, is absolutely stellar. I mean, it's just getting on my palate, and it's like butter just dripping down the jaw lines, and it's tingling my palate, just little bitty pricks here and there. It's spicy. I don't expect this to be so spicy, being a wheated bourbon, but I'm talking like the greatest like pieces of like pepper that you can possibly imagine, and it just like so spicy. It's just riding back there on the back of the palate. There's a little bit of like black fruit. It has like a Fig Newton kind of quality to it. So like after these like brilliant, beautiful spice notes, it's like I'm having a big old bite out of a Fig Newton. You got that nice, soft little kind of crumbly bread there, sandwiched in with that fig, and then I get some like that honey note is really strong. I mean, this thing is pretty complicated. Caleb Young asked the question: any chances a craft distiller makes your Rise of the Century? I have to say, like, there's a lot of great craft ryes. You look at what's that distiller out on the West Coast that I love with rye. I'm having a brain fart. Lot of good ones. Tom Comlex says, happy belated Veterans Day. Thanks for your service to all those who have served. That's very kind of you, Tom. Veterans Day has always been a weird day for me because I don't think I ever really fully embraced it, because for a long time I felt very awkward I definitely accepted the thank yous and everything, but I felt awkward because at the end of the day, every veteran who served, and we would like to have our friends back. And I think in the back of my mind, every time I'd do something for Veterans Day, my mind would just go straight to my friends I lost. And So this year I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to embrace it, and I'm going to tell people how I feel and what I was, what I think. And so I put that video out there, about what it means to be a veteran, and I got incredible responses. I can't thank you all enough for the kind words. And I got to spend last night with my old Army buddies on like a FaceTime. We were all FaceTiming, drinking bourbon, and smoking cigars, just like the old days. And I haven't laughed so hard. I laughed so hard last night that I woke up and my side was hurting. Now, my side might have been hurting for other reasons too, but that was just nice. So I appreciate the comment there on the I appreciate the comment on Veterans Day. Oh, Pete Sabo's in at double platinum ticket. Oh, I forgot to tell you too, the double platinum ticket will be getting a signed copy of Bourbon Curious. Now, I'm just going to kind of leave this one here. I'm just going to kind of bring it here to just tell you all right now, my first taste of the new Riff Maltster, the wheated bourbon. This right here is the first taste says it deserves to be on my whiskey of the year list. I'm just saying, but I don't make that kind of proclamation based on my first taste. I like to taste it a couple more times, just in case I'm being in some ways influenced from anything. So the first taste on that one gets an incredible high mark for me. Just absolutely fantastic, and I cannot get over the beautiness in the spice. So now let's go to the one that I would actually expect to be spicy, and that is the one with rye in it. Now, there's a lot of questions coming up about the SRP on these products. That's a good point. I'm gonna start to be including that in my upcoming notes. Like I need to do a better job of putting out there what the pricing is. So here we go. This is going to be let's see how they label it. Maltster. Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey made with malted rye, bottled and bond without chill filtration. Again, I've been public about this before. I hate their bottles. I love the whiskey. I love the people. I want to be able to see through it. They are, actually now that I look at it, it is a sexy bottle. It's a sexy bottle. But I just like looking through the whiskey. I just like looking at the whiskey. Is that wrong? Is that wrong? I'm sure it is wrong. Brian Mackey says, showed that veteran video to my dad over the weekend. He really liked it. Thanks for being real and sharing your experience. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's my pleasure to do that. And, I think, again, I noted in the video that my motivation for that was my economics professor in college, Dr. Larry Sanders. And I wrote him, and we kind of like reconnected over that. So, okay. So the nose on this is not really impressing me. It's like, it's kind of like a one note. It's caramel, which every bourbon, I guess, arguably has a caramel in there. And then it's like like an anise, like a licorice. Mm. I got to think on this one for a minute. I saw a good comment. So Chris Brantley says, so Julian called you out on vodka and tonics tonight. Thoughts? This is a joke, not a vodka drinker either. So great joke, but I'm glad you brought up vodka. What's our saying here in the community? What do we think about vodka? Well, I am actually going to be doing a vodka panel at the Repeal Day Expo. I'm going to have a vodka distiller come on there, and he's going to tell me, he or she will tell me, they will have 30 minutes to convince me that vodka does not suck. And, there's any number of distillers who have always told me that vodka doesn't suck. Of course, my reasoning behind my process on vodka has nothing to do with the actual spirit. It's more of the business of it, and it's more of like the history of it. But if you like vodka, that's absolutely fine. Drink it. In no way do I want to, shame anybody in what they drink. Just enjoy it if you like it. But, my rationale behind it has nothing to do with the taste of the spirit at all. So this smells okay. So it's got a caramel note. It's got the anise note, and then when I taste it, it is really, really pungent. There's a unwanted wood note in here. Like this one does not feel nearly as complete as the wheated bourbon. Oh, that wheated bourbon just so good. So good. Definitely between the two, I far prefer the wheated bourbon over the bourbon made with malted rye. The bourbon made with malted rye is just kind of flat. It has a decent caramel note up front. It's got a little bit of like a black licorice there. But, anytime I get that kind of like woody bitterness, I just don't dig it. Pete Sabo says, you just said taste of vodka. What did you mean by that? My whole point is if you like vodka, that's great. Like vodka. Taste it, whatever. But my rationale behind vodka's the vodka sucks thing is the way that vodka is basically hung over liquor stores to get them to buy something else. And it's the history of vodka and how it really hurt the the bourbon industry. Mac Dane says, ask the question, is Angel's Envy cask strength any good 2020? Yeah, I really liked it. If you can buy that one, I would. I don't know the price point. I know it's pricey. But I did buy... No, you know what? I bought the Sellers Collection recently, and that was like $250. So, yeah. But, I mean, yeah, I like... generally, the Angel's Envy cask strengths are usually home runs for me. So... Mark says, New York seems to always be behind on new releases. Hope I can catch the winter whiskey. Maybe you can. Maybe this will be the year that you're all caught up. Laura Simmons says she just snagged the double platinum. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. By the way, if you're just joining and wanting to know what all this is about, It is. I am throwing a party on December 5th from 1 o'clock to 10 p.m. and it is in celebration of the repeal of Prohibition. So on December 5th, 1933, FDR, basically there's a lot to it, but basically the 18th Amendment, which caused Prohibition, was repealed, and we were able to drink again and buy alcohol as a country. So every year on December 5th, I celebrate with a party. And usually it's at a bar or something like that. But this year it will be in the virtual world. Brian Mackey, Fred, interested in hearing your thoughts on Green River Distilling. Let's just forget the old name. Looking forward to what they put out in 2021. Brian, I am too excited about that. I'm glad to see Green River's name come back into American whiskey lore. And as a matter of fact, I have a sample in here somewhere, and if I knew where it was, I'd bust it out and taste it for you tonight. Fred, from Caleb Young. Fred, I'm sipping on Bankers Club bourbon right now, coming in at a cool $11 for a liter here in Pennsylvania. I'm classing up the joint tonight. LOL. Hey, man, that's great. I'll be honest with you. There's not a lot of things you can buy for $11. So, congratulations for finding anything at $11. Okay. All right. So, 100% pure mustard. Recently spotted an Angel's Envy Cask Strength 2018, but at $300. Well, 2018, I think that was a pretty good year for the cask strength. I really like last year's. Last year's was probably my favorite. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the Michter's. This is the Michter's 25-year-old. And this is bottle 145 of 348. So only 348 bottles of this were put out, or of this particular barrel, or of this particular release. So actually, I don't know how many barrels go into this batch, but 345 is obviously so something like if a whiskey had been holding for 25 years, you're looking at the average evaporation rate, they call it the angel share, is 3 to 5% a year. So over 25 years, let's say in a 53-gallon barrel, so that would be, so there'd probably be like 20% of the whiskey left, if that, in the barrel, and that would probably yield 30 to 50 bottles. Let's just say like every barrel would have yielded like 40 bottles. So for 348, somebody, what is 348 divided by 40? I can pull out a calculator here. We're gonna guess how many barrels went into this. Here we go. All right, this is embarrassing, by the way. My math skills are awful, and you realize how bad your math skills are when you're trying to teach your child math, and they have all of these different all of these new math styles that they have to do now. Okay, so Jason Day saved the day. I could not get my calculator to work, so it wouldn't pop up. So 8 to 9. So let's say 8 to 9 barrels. This is comprised of 8 to 9 barrels, of 25-year-old whiskey. That's good stuff there. That's not a lot, but that's also a guess. That is not anything that I know But just doing some backwards calculations, that is my thought. Now, let's talk a little bit about where this whiskey would have come from. Michter's is a distillery that was originally in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, this was like the hallmark distillery. The original brand, the person who created the brand was basically, it was on the old Baumberger distillery site, but the person who created the brand, basically, he named it Michter's after his two children, Michael and Peter. So he put M-I-C-H is for Michael, and T-E-R is for Peter. Now, this was a uber popular brand for a minute, and then it dipped and dove a little bit. But they were really one of the more famous distilleries doing decanters, and they had these pyramid decanters. They had these Egyptian decanters. So they had a lot of like old decanters and jugs that sold really, really well, and a lot of people really got excited about them. They actually had like fan clubs for Michter's decanters. So back in the 70s, man, people were all up in decanters. It was weird. But Michter's was not a really well-ran business, and it went out of business in 1987. Chatham Imports, which is the company that owns it today, acquired the trademarks for Michter's, I think 1990, 1992, somewhere around there, early 1990s. And they create basically a mission to bring Michter's back, and they're looking at a business plan of possibly revamping in Pennsylvania, when Pennsylvania whiskey was completely dead. Like, if there was bourbon was hurting, Pennsylvania was extinct in terms of whiskey. And so they had, by the way, Caleb Young here says, have you ever spoken with Dick Stoll? Yes, I spent a little time with Dick, not a lot of time. I know he started a distillery at Stoll and Wolf. He, of course, passed away recently, and that was very unfortunate. We did lose a very important person. So Michter's makes the decision to kind of rebrand itself as a Kentucky whiskey, but they essentially kept the same label. And on here, there is a note that says it is distilled in the small batches according to the Michter's pre-Revolutionary War quality standards dating back to 1753. That is an ode to the Pennsylvania heritage. That was the site that Michter's used to be made at, the Baumberger Distillery. The person who owned it, Lee Foreman, came up with this marketing plan, saying that they served their whiskey. Their whiskey was used, for George Washington's troops. And this was something that they had. This was their marketing plan, I want to say, like in the 60s. And that distillery was indeed in operation in 1753. It's a little murky as to whether or not whiskey was actually used. But fast forward to when Chatham Imports acquires it, they essentially keep the label. They kind of keep the label. They continue, the story behind Michter's, but obviously the Pennsylvania whiskey is just gone. Like that's not coming back. So they start acquiring sourced whiskey and bottling it, and they would buy a ton of barrels. And then they also started contract distilling with Brown-Forman. And Brown-Forman would make their whiskey to their specifications. Then they started their own distillery in Shively, Kentucky, which is actually right down the road from Brown-Forman. And now they're making their own stuff. They've been making their own whiskey since 2012. So this is something that either would have came from phase 1 or phase 2. My guess is this is probably right there at the cusp between the two. And that's a little bit about the whiskey. Oh, I already poured myself some. So it's 25 years old, and we know it is good. Probably going to be good. I'm going to find out. See if we got any questions in here that I need to get to. Tim Evans, double platinum ordered. All right, Tim. Thank you so much for that. So if you're just joining us, I'm throwing a party on December 5th in a virtual world called Deggy World. It's the Repeal Expo. It's go to repealexpoday.com. That's repealexpoday.com. And I have several ticketing tiers. The double platinum, you get two bottles. You get a new Riff and an elite bottle, one of the upper tier bottles of Jack Daniels, and you get a signed book from me. So, and I think that those tickets are almost gone. So if you haven't gotten in there and ordered yet, go to repealexpoday.com, repealexpoday.com, and Repeal Day Expo. Repeal Day Expo. You know, why do I keep wanting to say Repeal Expo Day? Why would we? It makes no sense. But this is like the brain wiring in here. It ain't always working. Here we go. Wow. Man. I'm just telling you right now, that nose is money. It is straight molasses, brown sugar, a little corn tortilla like that. All the corn tortillas like going and like sweetness, so good. Now Diana Moore says, "Wish I could share with my new bourbon friends on December 5th." If you can't make it, Diane, if you cannot make it, some of the you know what? You can do it. Ernie Brubaker is in at double platinum. Thank you, Ernie. Cheers. All right. So if someone's saying Diana Moore had a good catch. Let's see what did she catch here? Got so lucky. And oh my goodness, Diana Moore got a bottle of Michter's 20-year at Costco a few months back. You know, Costco is one of those like incredible places. Like, and when we go to Costco, I just make a beeline in there. And I hate this, but I really am just looking for like the treasure bottles. You know, I don't buy the regular stuff there. I like to support the the local stores. I get it. Steve P says she was offering to share some of her Michter's 20-year-old. I caught that as I was in the middle of jumbling. I figured out that I was what happened there. But again, the brain wiring's not so good tonight. Okay, here we go to. And I just love the smell of this. I love molasses. You know, I wrote a rum book, and rum is really, it's got a lot of rum-centric smells here. So molasses, brown sugar, and this just like the creation of like corn chips. Like you can smell them it's like in the oils. So it's got like this corn oily kind of smell coming out of the fryer, which I do not expect to smell corn in a 25-year-old bourbon. Wow. My friends, I'm always skeptical when a bourbon comes in north of 20 years old. It's in very rare situations that a bourbon can be in a barrel this long and not come out tasting like a big old wood tree. A lot of bourbons that are this old will taste like licking a fence post or something. This is exceptional. It's absolutely exceptional. So, the amount of brown sugar, molasses, there's some cardamom here, there's some nutmeg. Some really nice, like a hatch chili. Probably 15 different types of caramel. It's got some like baked fruits, like an apple pie, creme brulee. I mean, I'm still tasting it on my... I'm still tasting it on my palate after I swallowed it. Wow. Wow. It's interesting. This is truly a great whiskey. Billy Atwood, Fred, how would you best describe your palate? Like, what is the palate you lean towards as your go-to? Well, I think I have different nights. I think it's very, very... I vary, you know. Some nights I want a spicy bourbon. Some nights I want a creamy wheated bourbon. Some nights I want, like, not really tasting it, so I want something I just want to taste corn. So it always varies. And the thing is that we're talking about liking something based on your mood. But as a taster, I try to remove all those like preferences, and I will be very friendly to a whiskey that I don't personally like, but I'll break it down in a way that, so if someone likes, I don't like what's a flavor I'm not always a fan of. I'm not always a fan of like earthiness or oak. You know, my friend Kenny from Bourbon Pursuit, that boy loves oak. We call it the sweet oak note. I don't like that. And so, but I can detect it, and I can tell you it's there, and so maybe you will like it if you find that there. Okay. Beginning Bourbon says, some nights I just want bourbon, period. I mean, that's pretty much me, for sure. Kurt says, when Fred says, my friends, you know you need to find what he's tasting. I guess maybe. Yeah, that's not a bad not a bad one there. Tim Evans is having the cigar blend finally located for him at a little batch 23. Congratulations there. Oh, man. I'm going to taste this one more time. That is absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to the one that I really, really love from New Riff and see if my palate is like, man, what you doing here? Are you downgrading us, or to see if the new Riff holds up? Yeah, you know, this is like going from driving a Maserati to a 1982, Nissan pickup, which my family had, by the way. It's really not a fair thing that I just did there. It's not fair at all. Oh, man. That was not fair at all. Beginning bourbon. How does New Riff hold up to something like Rare Breed? That might be a better one. Yep. Let's see if I have a Rare Breed, and we will do that experiment. So, I'm gonna go grab me a new glass, and we'll do an old-fashioned Rare Breed taste-off with New Riff. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and set this. We're gonna set the Michter's 25-year-old. Ooh, I about spilled some water there. I'm gonna set the 25-year-old over here. Keep it away from my temptation to sip on it a little bit more. By the way, one of the things that I just poured some Rare Breed right here, some basic off-the-shelf Rare Breed. Going to compare it to my favorite of the new Riffs, kind of give it a taste off. One of the things that we're doing with the Repeal Day Expo is a portion of the proceeds are going to support the USO. So we will be making a donation, and we will be having links for donations inside the Deggy World, the virtual world, and also giving a portion of the proceeds to the Museum of the American Cocktail, which the Museum of the American Cocktail is basically our effort to bring awareness to cocktails made in the United States of America. There's a lot of awareness of cocktails, in general, but there's not a lot of like museum type of things for the history perspective. So I'm very hopeful that we'll be able to sell out, which there's not a lot of tickets available because it's in a virtual space, and it would like crunch it. But we think that we can do quite well in there, and any package that you buy, a portion of the proceeds will be going to the USO. So that's a charity that's very near and dear to my heart. I always talk about the USO. So please do what you can. And if you can get a ticket, I'd love that. So the regular gold ticket is just $20, and you're getting a bottle of Jack Daniels, which, is good. I think that's about what a bottle of Jack Daniels costs. And it'll be coming from Craft Shack, unless you're in one of the states that, hate you. And then the next tier, you get some exclusive access to some content and some panels, as well as on the double platinum, you get 2 bottles, you get a sign book, and you get a private tasting with me or a distiller. So a lot of good times. So go to repealdayexpo.com. That's repealdayexpo.com. Ooh, rare breed. Rare breeds tasting like chocolate and earth to me right now. Yeah, rare breed wins. Rare breed wins. It's not really. It's not really close, but I do like this quite a bit. I think it's full of flavor. It's got some really nice spice notes in there, and I think it was just a real shitty thing for me to do to wait, you know what? I mixed those up. I tasted the wrong one. Well, this actually does go toe to toe. It goes toe to toe, but still, I'm leaning toward rare breed. I mean, but I really dig what New Riff is doing, and I really dig this this style that they're doing, and it's absolutely fantastic. Well, I think I'm going to have to wrap it up here. I got a little bit of a Michter's 20-year-old that I need to sip on. Now, I could do that in probably what will be the only moment of quiet I have in my home, which I don't know. My dogs are always fighting each other. Or I could hang out with you guys. Since I've neglected you all so much lately, I'll just hang out with you all and sip this, quietly. This is so good. Three Toes of Fury. Now you're gonna have to tell us what that handle means. Three Toes of Fury really is something. What are a few of your favorite daily findable bourbons, rare breed, Elijah Craig, etc.? So I mean, yeah, rare breed, Old Forester 1920, regular Elijah Craig, Evan Williams Bottle and Bond, Four Roses Single Barrel, Four Roses Small Batch, Wild Turkey 101. Big fan of most of the Old Forester lines. Woodford Reserve Double Oak, Woodinville, which ironically, you know how people find like old tweets that you did from whenever. I put a tweet out 5 years ago that I thought Woodinville sucked. And somebody replied me, "What do you think about him now?" I was like, "Well, I named him best craft whiskey of 2019, so obviously I like him there, buddy." And it's just funny to see because they put the effort into it. Woodinville's, turned it around, man. Done some good stuff. Eric says, "Let's talk music. Where's the boss going to be? When's the boss going to be here?" Listen, right now I have Diana asked the question, does anyone know if Craft Shack ships to Kentucky? To my knowledge, yes, you are fine on that one. And if not, we can set up a hub in Indiana and have a place where you can pick it up or something like that. When am I going to get the boss? That's what Eric was asking. I let my membership know that I have a request in for Bruce Springsteen, and as far as I know, I mean it could happen. Next week, I'm interviewing Ludacris, who is pretty big name, you know, pretty big name. Ludacris is pretty cool. And I also got an interview with Yellow Wolf coming out. Yellow Wolf, which is the Slum American lifestyle. I mean, he's a really cool guy. He was a lot of fun. Oh, and another thing. I'm going to pair a whiskey to... No. I'm not going to tell you yet. I'm just going to do it. Oh my gosh, this is so good. So good. Kobe says, "Are you going to meet Bruce tonight in Atlantic City?" I wish, but no. Yep, Terry Bradshaw's coming up. I got him. Steve P.S. Have you tried Smoke Wagon bottles? What do you think? I think Smoke Wagon's great. Which, by the way, the Smoke Wagon is, to me, like what they bring to the table are great barrel picks. Great barrel picks. Yeah, I love their stuff. Diana Moore says, Yellow Wolf, awesome song on Sons of Anarchy. Love it. Yeah, if you all have an artist that you all would really like me to go after, feel free to email me at fredminnick.com or just put it in the chat or comment in any of the stories or videos or Instagram or wherever, and I will go after them. There are some that I can't get to, but the majority of the talent, musical artists and celebrities, like I can get a request to them and it'll be considered. The thing that I have noticed is that people, it helps that I don't send bad whiskey, like because I send good stuff, it works out. But the problem is so many artists are sober now. So many good ones are sober. Mark says, I bought the Terry Bradshaw for $22. I was shocked at the price since it was in your 40 to 60 category. Mark, that's a good point. And, pricing varies by state, So it may be $45 here, but it's $22 at your Total Wine. I mean, it always varies. Diana Moore says, I bet Terry Bradshaw is going to be a blast. You know what? I think you're right. He strikes me as the kind of guy that is just, we're probably going to laugh and have a good time. Cask and Ashes, thoughts on the Horse Soldier? I think that they have built a really nice brand. I think they have done a good job of getting themselves out there. I think their whiskey has been a lot. Some people have liked their whiskey, and I love that. And I love the fact that they're out there. They're out there with a story that needs to be told, and it's not a BS whiskey story. It's like a American hero story. But, I've had a couple of their things. Definitely the best thing I've had was their more expensive one. And I'm excited to see where they're going to go. And I'm excited to see their distillery, because that's the thing, is when you're sourcing whiskey, you're only really as good as the whiskey that you're getting. So I'm hopeful that we get some action, some good positive action out of them there. So, Caleb, would be cool to hear about Metallica's experience with Dave Pickrell from their perspective. I enjoyed your interview with the late great Mr. Pickrell. Caleb, I appreciate that comment. I actually do have a recording with Metallica, where we were sitting down with Dave Pickerel, and it was a very good recording in terms of content, but it was with like a little handheld, and the audio quality wasn't very good. So that may actually be forthcoming, but it's something I recorded in like 2018. But, maybe. Dennis Weedman, how about Darius Rutger? I actually had a request into Darius's camp and never heard back from him, so maybe I'll get to him. Peter Wilson, any other celebrities starting their own brand? I actually know of a lot of celebrities starting their own brands. Unfortunately, I'm giving that information in confidence, and if I shared it on YouTube, I would, lose a lot of sources, and I would basically lose a lot of access to celebrities. So the one thing that I have noticed, like towing into this world, is discretion. Above all things, discretion and off-the-record comments never becoming public is the most important thing that you can do to maintain those relationships. And I know of a lot of stuff happening, there's going to be a lot more celebrity action, a lot more, a lot. Three Toes of Fury, dude, would love to hear the Metallica tapes. I've thought about releasing them, but the audio quality's so bad. Bourbon Lens, how are you? Man, I'm great. Definitely. I'm just doing my thing. Sturgill Simpson from Jeff Lawrence and Billy Atwood. That's a good one. Casts and Ashes. What's on the horizon for Bourbon Up? More to come on that down the road. Eric says celebrities are going to blow it up. This is my thesis. Why Kentucky will never have enough bourbon. I think you're right on that. I don't think anyone really saw the celebrity thing coming, but it's going to happen pretty strong. Well, everybody, wow, you guys have all stayed on this whole time. Just me kind of yapping and drinking a little whiskey. I appreciate it. It's great hanging out with you all. And of course, I thank the members especially. If you're not a member of the YouTube community, you can see the join button up there next to the subscribe button. It's a community where I go in and just chat with regularly, and they know the news before I ever make it public. So they knew about Repeal Day Expo before everybody else. They knew about all of my whiskeys of the year before anybody else, and it's been a great time in that YouTube community. I mean, we've kind of become homies. So just a big fan of doing this and getting back into it. I'm so sorry that I've missed a couple streams. It is it's been a little bit of a hectic, crazy time for me in a good way. And so I hope you all go to repealdayexpo.com and get a ticket and get in on this sweet action that will be the celebration of the end of Prohibition. So that's going to do it for me today, you all. Thank you so much for hanging in, and thank you so much for being a part of this channel. It's been such a pleasure. Kurt's coming in asking how many subscribers now. With it for 1 year, we're basically at the 1 year mark of when I started pushing the YouTube channel. I'm now 11,500 followers. Thank you. And I was talking to Chris Hart about this yesterday, which, he's got a channel with ESPN in Houston. And it's amazing to me. Like, I don't really look at the subscriber stuff, or I don't really focus on that. I just push stuff out. I love creating, and I'll never stop creating. So when you see me like taking a break or something, just know I'm creating and doing something else, like repealdayexpo.com. Wait, yeah, repealdayexpo.com. So go check out repealdayexpo.com. I think we may be sold out on the double platinums, but we'll find out. So cheers, everybody. Be safe out there. Don't go licking handrails. Don't go licking trash cans. And remember, vodka sucks unless it's being used for hand sanitizer. Even then, it probably